That's so nice. What a great intro. I feel like I don't even have to talk. You guys already kind of learned everything about what we've done. But like Chad said, well, first of all, can I just start out by saying thank you? Thank you for your support of our programs, of us as coaches, of our athletes. We feel that support, whether it's through donations, whether it's through just cheering on our efforts. All that you do is definitely felt. I'm very grateful and excited to be at BYU. This is year 9 for me, and I can't say when I first came to BYU, I imagined that I would be spending almost a decade, probably decades, here as the coach of the women of BYU. But it has been a little bit of a dream come true, and I can tell you why. When I first got here, and I'll be fast because Ed tends to talk a little bit longer than me, and so I asked to speak first so that I could get all my words out. But when I first came to BYU, I wanted to do something a little bit different with the women here, and so we created this BYU Run for Her, and you might have heard of it. It's the idea of we're running for the little girl that fell in love with the sport. So I ask each of my women to do that. And when you think about the 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 8-year-old, 14-year-old version of yourself that just has the freedom to dream of being in this position, of lining up at an NCAA championship or a conference championship, just be reminded of how the passion for the sport originally started. And what it does is it kind of takes away some of the pressure. But when I talk about the her, I also had a her inside of me. And I can proudly say that 14, 16, 18, 24, and even 30-year-old me would be extremely proud of where I've been able to come. Not what I've been able to accomplish, but the place that I've landed and the people that I've been able to surround myself with here at BYU has enabled me and has challenged me to constantly be the best version of myself, not just for myself, but for this next generation of women. And I take that job more seriously than the X's and O's of coaching. Our season started in Alaska this year, 9th year. We went to Alaska for cross-country camp. We did not see any bears. I was hoping to see some bears, but we had our bear spray with us. And what that week in Alaska did for us, the most special part is sometimes when we go to locations and people find out that we're going to these locations, they want us to do a fireside. And in the middle of your cross-country camp, to pack a extra outfit and to get your women to kind of come together, it's not a job. It's a privilege that we get to do. But every now and again, I think, okay, we got to fit this in with our schedule. And it was the best thing that we did in that week. What it did for my women, and to see the community in Anchorage, Alaska, people who drove 3 or 4 hours so that their young daughters could listen to my women speak, it just moved me, and it reminded me that what I do is so much bigger than sport. But in that time, in our 5 days in Alaska, very cold Alaska, much like Utah, we bonded as a team. And I think that's so important when you're coaching a group of young women to have that team chemistry be really strong. And so we came back from Alaska. We went to our first race, which we hosted, the Autumn Classic, got the win, went to Notre Dame. We were second to NAU, who is one of the also better teams in the country. And then we went to pre-nats, where you go to just kind of collect some points and never really focused on the outcome. Matter of fact, at the end of that race, I gathered my women and I said, okay, we got the win. However, we're going to stay humble. And since that moment, we've just continued to win. We won pre-nats, we won conference. Last week at regionals, the idea was just qualify. We got the win again. And I'm not saying that we have pressure to win this next weekend on Saturday. We've had some hiccups along the way, which most teams do. We're not the only team in the country that's going to show up, maybe not everyone feeling 100%. But here's what I do know about my women at BYU. Regardless of how they're feeling, they're going to give 100% of whatever it is they have. So if they're feeling 90%, 80%, they're going to give 100% of that. And to me, that's the true accomplishment. When you can line up and give your best, even when you're not maybe feeling your best, there's a saying that sometimes you can win before the starting line, and I think my women have already done that this season. So I'm very, very, very proud of that. My job here is Oregon's our biggest threat. I don't love the Ducks, but they're probably on paper, the team that is going to be the team to beat at the NCAA championship. we'll give them a run for their money. I'm also praying for snow. I never, ever imagined coming from California that I would ever want snow. And most other times I don't enjoy it, but I am, like Ed, praying for snow because what happened at regionals, we weren't expecting snow, but we woke up in Reno to snow on the ground. And how my women handled that and how excited, there's a video clip of me saying, we're just playing in the snow. They just ran free and it didn't affect them. Weather will be a participant for some athletes on the line this weekend. It usually is at these big meets. I think for us it's going to be a benefit. So keep that in your prayers when you guys Friday night or Saturday morning are thinking of us. Just kind of add that in there. I'll talk a little bit about the posture of my women's heart. I think that's the thing that I'm the most impressed about. I know my job here is to make sure that I get great runners and help them become great runners, but my job really is to help great women become great runners and help great runners become great women. And if I can do that simultaneously, then I'm successful. And I'm very intentional about it. But when I talk about the women at BYU, and what I want you guys to know is what they're doing and who they're becoming because of this sport that serves as a vessel for this source of empowerment for them is something that you'll be really proud of. The way they're going to raise their daughters, who they're going to be in the community, and the example that they're going to set for the next generation of young girls, ultimately that's what I want my legacy to be. And so yes, Chad stood up here and he talked a lot about the accomplishments that I've been lucky and fortunate enough to have on the backs of these hardworking women and great leadership. But ultimately, I want my legacy to be about who these women become and how they inspire the next generation of dreamers. And I'm hoping we get to chase our dreams. We all get to. We have that opportunity this weekend, and I'm hoping things go good for us. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to know that you can be really proud of the women we put on the line week in and week out, because they're the type of women that you would want your daughters to be best friends with. They're the type of women that you would want your sons to marry. And ultimately, that is what I am incredibly proud of. With that being said, I'm ultra competitive and I do want to perform really well on Saturday. So when you guys say the little prayer for snow, just go ahead and add that my women just feel the love for each other and that they're strengthened by the Spirit when they race on Saturday. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Thanks so much, DLG. Good luck. Rip it up. I'd like to introduce Ed. Ed Eystone has coached cross country at BYU since 2000. During that time, he has led BYU to a top 25 finish at the NCAA championships every season, including 9 top 10 finishes, a national championship, and 17 conference titles. The 2019 National Coach of the Year, Ed has coached a combined 64 All-Americans and 7 individual national champions. Ed and his wife, Lynn, have 6 daughters. And you know Ed is musical. He's really musical. He does plays. He's super talented. So today, I didn't bring my guitar, but I brought him a little song. So I'll give it to you. Go for the gold. That's what we've been told. Never settle for second best. Always go for the gold. There you go, Ed. That was for you.
Go for the gold. I love that theme, particularly coming off of this last summer. Anybody have a chance to turn on the TV and watch a little bit of the Olympic Games this summer? Okay. Super proud of our Cougars. We had a total of 7 BYU track and field alumni or current athletes at the Olympic Games in Paris, and I think they did such a solid job. Very exciting for Coach Taylor and myself to have a chance to be there as well. And I think all our breaths were taken away at their performances and their fearless nature as they went in and competed. And certainly the Kenneth Rooks, I about had a heart attack when he took the lead with 300 meters to go of the Olympic final in the steeplechase, and to see him come home and battle all the way through for that silver medal, I think it took all of our breaths away. And yeah, Kenny, I will pass along to you your guys' applause and appreciation. Like Coach Taylor, I feel so extremely grateful for all of you that are sitting here, all of our supporters, all of the people that have helped me do the job that I've done for the last it's been 25 years, something like 25 years since 2000. What a privilege it is for us to come into work every day, and the quality of athletes, student athletes that we get to work with, and the quality of individuals and boosters that we get to rub shoulders with. Chad is famous for his book of Surround Yourself with Greatness, and that certainly is what we feel every day, day in, day out, when we come into work and when we get to associate with our student athletes. They truly are great, and their greatness rubs off on us, and some of our hopefully goodness rubs off on them as well. This year's been a phenomenal year for my men's cross-country team. We're looking also, as Coach Taylor is ranked #1 going into the national meet. You hate to have that target on your back, but I guess fortunately or unfortunately, our men have done a very good job as well, and we also come into the national championship ranked with that #1 bullseye on our backs. Our guys are not fearful of that. Yes. We take that as a challenge. We want to embrace the challenge, and I think that we've communicated that effectively with our young man, that it's a privilege to have a ranked position, and it's a privilege to be ranked #1. We know our opponents. We've had a great year. We, as Coach Taylor does, we start with a week-long camp the week before school starts. In our case, we go up to a place. I know Alaska is amazing, but can you imagine going to a place called Eden to have your camp? Okay, the Garden of Eden. It was a perfect place, right? And so Eden, Utah is where our men usually start our 1 week. I call it a bonding experience, and sometimes my wife comes back, and it is known as, and my guys would, everyone would tell you this, they call it and refer to it as the best week of the year. And I think sometimes my family's a little offended. You mean the best week isn't spent with the family? It's spent up with these guys and they call it the best week of the year because we spend time getting to know our new freshmen. Our senior leadership is able to, we divide our team into 4 or 5 different groups, and every night we have a fireside or devotional. Every day we spend running hard and then eating hard, and then having amazing devotionals in the night. And by the end, and sometimes it involves a 50-yard long slip and slide where the guys are going back and forth and seeing how fast they can actually slide on their bodies down this long little hill. At the end of that period of time, though, we come together as a unit, and we have built a team culture that is able to carry us and sustain us through the rest of the season. We started off our season at the Autumn Classic as well. We appreciate those of you who were able to come out and watch us run. We don't have many home meets, and so that first home meet is always a nice time, an opportunity for me to put in some of my younger guys and see what they can do. We started off with a victory there. We moved on to, we wanted a chance to see our national championship course, the course that we're going to be competing on this Saturday. As Chad mentioned, we're hoping for kind of inclement weather for a number of reasons, but we had a chance to go to that big invitational on that course and actually run the same course that we're going to be competing on Saturday. And our men ran very well. We were able to get to know those hills, the uphills, the subtle, long, gradual uphills, and the crashing down hills, and the long uphill finish. And we became familiar with that course. And at the end of the day, we ended up winning the invitational there, and that was nice, good confidence builder. And we had a chance to actually do a couple of workouts on that course as well, just to kind of get that in our mindset. We went from there, and 2 weeks later, we went to University of Oregon, that Duck territory where is famous for a lot of amazing runners like Steve Prefontaine and others, and had a chance to go in a big cross-country invitational there. We hadn't been up in the Northwest for a while, and so it was fun to get back up there and run against the Ducks, who are rebuilding a program and looking very strong. I put together a strong group of guys, giving some of my new guys some experience. In cross-country, you want to have as low a score as possible. It's like golf, right? You score them by how your runners place. And so our first runner gets 1 point. Second gets 2, 3, 4, 5, and you score it that way. And hopefully you have a pretty low score at the end of the game. When we finished this invitational with about 12 different schools, we scored 15 points. 15 points in cross country is a perfect score. We led first, second, third, fourth, and fifth before the first duck came in, and we were happy about that. And I think that, again, gave us a little bit of excitement, enthusiasm, and maybe moved us up a little higher in the rankings than we would have liked. It's always nice to come in as kind of the unknown or the dark horse, but this put us firmly on the map in terms of the college voters for this season. And since that time, we've realized and recognized that for us, the team all year long has been one of our Big 12 opponents, which is Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State won the national championship last year, won the Big 12 conference championship, and then we had to face them at the nationals, and they won the nationals as well. Some people are touting that team last year of Oklahoma State as the best cross-country team ever in the NCAA. And so I was not excited or enthused this last summer when I heard that they had added 2 other East Africans to their team. It's a very international field and a very strong field, and so when I heard that they had added 2 more very strong runners to their team, I was not excited, but I knew that my men were up to the challenge. They would do the very best that they could, and then come what may, at the end of the day, you run your best race and you hope that you can score well. And from that point in time, we went to so we had the Nutty Comb. So then we were going to face Oklahoma State at the conference meet. At the time, they were ranked number 1, and we were ranked number 2 in the nation and in the conference. So we knew we had our work cut out for us. And I have never been more proud with the team performance as I was at our conference meet, because I was just hopeful that, hey, maybe we can get within 10 points of them at the conference meet, and then we can devise a way to maybe pull off the big upset at the national meet. And my guys, I think, were not content with the thought of waiting until the national meet, because as a team, I don't know that I've had a better performance as a team. We started off the first couple of K splits. We were in, I think, third place, and then moved into second place with Oklahoma State. Still about 11 points ahead with 1K to go. 1K is less than a mile. It's about a little over a half mile to go. We were still down by about 7 points. And to a man, over the last 800, my guys found it in themselves to dig down and do the crucial passes that they needed. And we went from 7 or 8 points down with about a half mile to go and making the critical passes. One pack of 4 guys running together every time they pass someone. That can be a 4 to 8 point swing depending on who they're passing. And in the last K, we did the passes, and at the end of the day, as I ran to the finish line and looked on the jumbotron, I knew it was going to be tight. Final score, we were 52 points, and Oklahoma State was 63 points. Low score wins in cross country, so we were very excited about that. Now, I knew that then put us in a position where that unenviable position of being ranked number 1 going in the nationals. Our guys have not let it go to their heads. We know that our work is yet to be done. We know that Oklahoma State probably did not have their very best day. What contributed somewhat to that sweep at the end is one of their runners had an off day. And I thought it was interesting that this last week at the regional meet, we were able to run well enough to advance, and we won that one as well. As I checked the results, I noticed somebody on the roster of Oklahoma State was on that roster for the first time, and they pulled a red shirt from one of their international athletes to put him in to give him be a little bit stronger. So at the very least, we will make it a very good fight. And part of me is just saying, well, at the very least, I'm depleting their resources because they pulled a red shirt off of a guy with 1 race left to go in the season. So we are excited, though, to embrace the challenge. These young men that I get to work with are amazing young men. For the most part, they put their mission, their running careers on hold for 2 years to serve missions, as many of our amazing student athletes do. They've come back. They were hungry. They were humble. I've had talented teams before. This is one of my most talented teams I've had. I've had tough teams before, but I don't know that I've had a team as talented and as tough together. Knit together. So despite the fact that we are ranked number 1, I think most of the pundits are saying Oklahoma State, it's theirs to lose. I know that with the talent and the toughness and the faith that these young men exhibit, we're going to have our best race yet of the year. Whether that puts us out on top of the podium, we would love to do that. But at the end of the day, I know we're going to hold our heads high. We're going to be pleased with our performance, and we're going to run our very best race. So again, I would couple what Coach Taylor had said. If you could combine your prayers and your faith in our behalf this weekend, and if the circumstances and the weather conditions are snowy, we wouldn't mind, because I think we have a little bit more experience running in the snow here than maybe in some parts of other parts of the world that many of these athletes might be for. So we're hoping for a cold day. We're hoping for a great performance. And at the end of the day, I know that both the men's and women's program are going to have a phenomenal experience in Madison, Wisconsin. And we got a fireside that evening as well. So any of you have folks in the Wisconsin area, if you want to send them to, we're going to be some teams celebrate a podium finish at the NCAA's by going out and doing doing things that they can't remember the next morning. Other teams go out and we get to have an amazing time of sharing testimony and meeting some of the good members in the Madison, Wisconsin area. So thank you very much, and go Cougs.
Those are two master coaches, amazing leaders, inspiring. We're all collectively praying for snow Saturday morning, right? Okay, we're on it together. We got our homework assignment. We'll do it. Let your runners know we got them. Would like to recognize that Tom Homo is here, Liz Darger's here, and several other people from the athletic administration are here. And we all love you, and we're super grateful for your support. Let's hand out some gifts. Does that sound good?